Now. Oh, for God's sake. There was no sound. Ugh. Seriously. Now there's sound. I think. Oh, for God's sake. Now there's sound. Now the sound. I don't know why. That should have unmuted itself, but it didn't. So when you set up this OBS, you can, like that opening screen, it turns off my camera and my mic. And then when I press go live, everything pops up. But for some reason, it muted the mic and didn't unmute the mic. I don't know why. Anyway, it don't matter. I was having a conversation with myself. But then there's such a lag between, I can now see the comments, but there's such a lag between the comments and the what's going on. I can't tell. But what I've also done is, look, I've got an old screen share going on now. So I'm going to answer a few comments, because what I was saying when I was talking to myself is people say there's no such thing as stupid questions. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, there is. There is such things as stupid questions. So I thought it'd be funny to go through some of them and yeah, just show people kind of. Now the thing is, I haven't really thought about this, so I'm gonna have to scroll through the comments. I haven't like got everything ready, because that means I'm organized. So there's a couple that come to mind that were recent. I'm just looking on my computer here. That were recent, I think. I'm just going to answer someone here, actually. Reply. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to go through it, because some of them, like, it's weird with YouTube comments. Unless you do it, you don't understand. But there's only a few kind of normal YouTube comments. And what I mean by normal is, obviously you get the people that like you and that, you know, want to ask questions. Oh, that's fine. Then you get the idiots. And the thing is, people say, well, don't feed the trolls, don't do this, don't do that. And for me personally, I enjoy it. And I actually think it helps, because the more comments you get on your channel, on your videos, the more YouTube see it as activity. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. If you answer some of these trolls, they'll come back and answer you back. And I've often had 20, 30 messages from some of these. So that's an extra 20 comments, 20 views. It all helps you. And it's funny to annoy them. So, oh, I didn't really give everyone a shout out, did I? So, who have we got? We have Mike. How we doing? Jason, how are we doing? Bertrand, how we doing? Liam, how we doing? Ed, Gary, how we doing? So, yeah, I just like to answer them because it's funny. And you get, if you answer some of these trolls, and this is going on any channel, doesn't matter what it is about. But when you, if they try and question you because you've done something wrong, and then you answer them saying, look, you don't know what you're talking about, they'll normally come back and say, in a mechanics world, for example, oh, well, I've been working with Formula One for 20 years. I know everything. Or some, you know, if some other thing, but I've been working with NASA. Whatever the top field is in that particular area of work, someone will say that's where they've trained, that's where they've done, so they know everything. That's what you'll always get, which is hilarious. You'll always see it, where if you answer these, they'll just try and come up with, you know, it's like, you know, all the people that do all the stolen valor stuff, they're always special forces. They're always done, you know, they've done everything. You know, like the Monty Python sketches, just is but a scratch. No arms, no legs, but yet they can still kill, you know, millions of people. That type of thing, right? Which is just hilarious. And there's one comment that comes to mind. I'm going to see if I can find it. And you do anything wrong and people just love to get you straight away. And there's a couple of things that I always do in some of my videos. I do things on purpose. So I'll say the wrong thing, like especially with nuts and bolts, right? Now this started as an accident. On videos years ago, I said nut rather than a bolt, and it was a complete accident because I was thinking of 100 things. And then it annoyed people that much, I kept doing it, and I keep doing it. Like one of my recent videos, I put what did I put? This special nut fix my van, or this special bolt fix my van, and I show a picture of a nut. I did it on purpose, which was just hilarious. And a few people commented, not bad comments, it was just funny, but some people got it, some people didn't. So I do things on purpose to get a reaction out of people. That's not a bad reaction, it's just funny when someone says, oh, you've done this wrong, where actually no, you've just kind of fallen for the joke. Just like when I do things like this, because it's just funny. My sound, why is my sound muting whenever I do something? Anyway, so yeah, it's just funny, and I'm trying to find this comment. It was on the last video I did. Problem is there's just, you know, you get so many comments, and I'm looking through my comment list here, and it's all the comments and all the videos, so it takes forever to go through. But there's one here where some guy, oh hold on, why can't I go down? That's on my last video. No, I need it on all of them. It wasn't my last video it was on, sorry. Is this all the comments now? 1 second. It's a bad dose. This is it now. So I have to find it. It was on a scan tool review. Here we go. I'll find it in a second. Before I find it, how is everybody? What are you doing? What are you up to? What have you been doing today? And any news for me? And I'm going to find this comment. I think that's the same guy. There's a guy that obviously is a fanboy of the particular tool I was kind of saying was shit. And it goes to show he's a bit of a fanboy because he's bloody don't know what fuck he's talking about. I think your videos are great. Ignore them. It's all one of it. No, it's not that. They don't bother me. It's just fun. Like I said, it's fun that when I answer them, I get more views. I get more clicks and stuff on my videos. So that's why I answer them. And I'm going to be doing some kind of videos going through a lot more comments because I think it's just funny. People kind of enjoy it. I've seen other kind of people do it. So I thought, do you know what? We'll have a bit of that. We'll have a bit of that. Oh, please don't say he deleted his comment. That's another thing. When people delete the comments, they think the comments are gone. They're actually not gone. Why did that do that? They you still get every time someone sends a message, and this is any YouTuber gets it, you get an email of that message. Even though you've sent it and you've deleted it off YouTube, we've still got the email in our email address. So you can still go back to the original comment. When you edit it, I can still go back to the original comment. And people don't realize that. Oh, come on, where is this? It wasn't this long ago. He must have deleted it. I think he's deleted it and put a different. Is the stream choppy at all? Or is it nice and smooth? I think he's deleted it and he's put another comment, but I've still got the original comment. I'm going to go onto the video now. What does the... Why... I'm looking at the bottom screen. It seems to flash for some reason. Vauxhall Insignia, 2 litre CDTI EcoFlex oil seal problem. Yeah, I don't understand. Is that a question, Liam? Always. I agree with you. A lot of YouTubers do ask for comments now because the algorithm. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If you want to support any of your favorite YouTubers, forget about, because not everyone can, not everyone can afford super chats. Not everyone can afford, Patreon and stuff like that. So you want to support your favorite YouTubers for free, just leave a comment. Doesn't matter. Could just thumbs up, whatever it is. Just leave a comment and a like. That's all you got to do, or a thumbs down, whatever it is. That is the best way to support. Top comments. Oh, he's deleted it, I think. Build to publish. Why can't I go to... Been following you from the Mondaris Tea days. You have been pretty handy in the while I've been following you. Thanks, mate. Yeah, it is. I think Vauxhall needs to recall it. Too late now. It's just too late. Them cars are too old. They don't have to. Well, I don't know if there's any particular, like, I don't know if after so many years they don't have to do it. I'm not sure. Yeah, just a like and a comment. It is enough. That's all you have to do if you want to support someone for free. If you want to support someone, by paying them whatever, then that's fine. But, not everyone's in the situation to do that. So the easiest thing to do, or the cheapest thing to do, is literally just leave a like. Why can't I get to my... Because I've had to zoom into my screen so much, so when I do this, you can see it. On my screen, it is huge. I feel like an old person trying to read because the text is huge. I can't find it. I'll just say it because I can more or less remember. I just wanted to kind of show people, because this is the thing. If you, especially on my videos, because like I said, I just like answering people. If you leave a comment and you haven't watched the video full, I will know and you're going to get it. Because this guy didn't watch the video in full. Where is it? Oh, he must have deleted it. I'll have to go through my emails. I kind of want to put it up on screen, but I don't know if this is the guy. I think this is the guy, but I don't want to say, I don't want to, bash this Muppet if it's not the right guy. Thinking about getting a Lexus LS 600H. Any thoughts would be appreciated. Yeah, don't. I'll tell you why in a second. Project Men, how we doing? The reason why, I literally did a 300H the other day. I did wheel bearings on a 300H. And the wheel bearing honestly just looked like a Mondeo wheel bearing. More or less the same size. Has the ABS sensor, on the back of it. What I'm trying to get at is definitely no harder to make a Mondeo wheel hub bearing and a Lexus wheel hub bearing. They're exactly the same as regards making. They're both just as difficult to make as each other. It's not as if one, you know, is just a million times better in any way. They're more or less the same size within reason, right? The Mondeo wheel bearing, can't remember what the Mondeo wheel bearing was. It was like maybe 80, 90 euros. For the same make for the Lexus was 500 euros. 500 euros. And there's no difference. There is no difference in the making of it. But 10 times more expensive. Well, not exactly 10 times, but you know what I mean. Ah, this guy's deleted his comments. We'll have to look for a few more. I'm going to look on the old dog and bone because I might be able to find it a bit easier. How much does the Snap-on scan tool cost to update? It just depends where you are and which one you've got. I think the most expensive one is about 1,500 quid a year. I think that's what it is. 1,500 euros a year. It's in and around that price anyway, I think. I think if you subscribe to their like monthly updates, it's cheaper. They'll give you it. They'll give you it cheaper, but yeah, it's a lot of money. I've got a Mondeo TD CDI 140 to play with tomorrow. Randomly cuts out and gives me high low fuel pressure codes. I'm thinking it's injectors or two. It could just be dodgy fuel filter. Anything to do with low fuel pressure, the first thing I always do is change the diesel filter regardless. I did a car the other day. Actually, that's it. Look at this. I did this car the other day. The diesel, it was doing the same thing, cutting out. The diesel filter looked brand new. Absolutely brand new. So I thought to myself, well, there's no way it can be the diesel filter. It's brand new. And it wasn't. So I'm just going to make me bigger because I want to show you this. Look at this. This is... that is the oil filter. You see that? Well, that all went Pete Tong. Can't do that again. Oil filter, completely enough. You can't see. I'll have to. I'll be putting pictures out, and I've done a video. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at, right, is the diesel filter looked perfect, looked brand new. It wasn't. But it looked perfect. Replace the filter. Perfect. So I always replace the filter first, and then go from there, because it could also be a blocked fuel tank. Hi Leon, I hope you are safe and well, mate. I am, John. Same to you. Leon, have you ever replaced pollen filters on a K11 Micro? I had to cut it out, the plastic bit behind the glove box, to get it today. Do I glue it back? First replacement, and it's 20. You have to put the little panel back, because if you don't get any air vents. The air pressure coming out the vents is no good, because that little plate stops. What happens if you leave that plate off? All the air pressure comes out. Once you put that plate back, you'll get proper air pressure coming through the vents. So you have to put it back. You can glue it back. Doesn't matter how you put it back, but you need to put it back. I've gone from Snap-on to Autel. Love it. Boom. Bet the fuel pressure regulate at the end of the rail. Again, could be, but not necessarily. This is the problem with fuel pressures, right? I actually did the video. The video I did on this bolt fix my van, or this special bolt fix my van. That Focus who had the dodgy clocks was given fuel pressure warnings. And I said it in the video. I showed you the error codes in the video. Because when the clocks were going, it would cut out everything. And then, of course, the car thought there was low fuel pressure, but it had nothing to do with low fuel pressure. It was the clocks. Now, you're not going to really have the issue with the clocks in the Mondeo. I haven't come across dodgy clocks in the Mondeos. But what I'm trying to get at is, just because you've got low fuel pressures, if I went off the low fuel pressure code on that, I would have replaced everything and it wouldn't have done any good. It was the clocks. It was the clocks. Filter was only changed 2 months back. Genuine Ford unit. Fuel pressure is... Yeah, again, the problem is, I hear what you're saying, right? I hear what you're saying. The fuel filter was only replaced a few months ago. But how do you know that the fuel tank isn't full of crap and the fuel filter is now blocked because of the craps coming from the fuel tank? Look, I'm not saying it's the fuel filter. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you just have to be careful. I love your t-shirt, my favorite rock band. Yeah, big up the Queen. Big up Freddie Mercury. Let me quickly look for this message on the old dog. And then if I can't find it, I'll just go through it because it was bloody funny. But it looks like he's bloody deleted it. And it looks like he's completely changed his comment because he realized what I said and he was wrong. Too many comments. This is the other problem. Trying to keep up with all the comments is... Yes, it was the same guy. I thought so. That's why I didn't want to... But according to the phone, the comment is still there. But it isn't when I look at the video. And if I put it back up to the... because the camera I'm using actually tracks me, it will actually move. When I put the phone up to it, it started moving because it's lost its tracking. Here we go. I got him. I got him. Right. I'm going to show this now in a second, just for shits and giggles. I'm planning on starting it up, looking at the data while unplugging each injector to see if it's an injector. It normally will tell you because the solenoid on top of the injector will tell you. If you've got, I haven't got it here with me, it's in my van. I've done a video. If you've got an insulation tester, that's the best way. Even an oscilloscope doesn't catch an intermittent injector fault. Where an insulation tester, you put 100 volts through that bad boy and you can tell straight away. I've got... Oh, what's my insulation tester? It is a Mega. It's a Mega. The brand is Mega. And it can go up to 1,000 volts. So it can put 1,000 volts into anything. But what you do is you get it and you can tell instantly. And I mean instantly with any piezo injector, right? I've done videos on it. You plug it into it, turn up to 100 volts. If that piezo in solenoid cannot produce 105 volts, it's gone. Now, I have seen them to work at around 60, 70 volts. But if it's an injector, you would be getting an error code for injector 1, 2, 3, or 4, or whatever. Now, you can also have an open injector, which is rare, and then you won't get an error code because it's not the piezo part that's broken. It's the actual internal part of it. But I would be... if it doesn't show you any error codes for the injectors, I really don't think it would be an injector, but it could be. Right, let's get this up. So you can see at the bottom, my mouse is really small, so you can't see my mouse, but you can just see my mouse kind of moving. So it's this dude here at the bottom of the screen, right? And the video that I did on, it was launch versus Autel. You can see at the top left of the screen. And I was just going through two scan tools that were very similarly priced and going through the features. Now, this fucking idiot, obviously you're biased towards Autel. Anyone can see that. Your point reviews is not real, right? And I'm like, see, this is the problem. When people just come onto a video, he thinks he knows what he's talking about. He hasn't watched my other videos and he's trying to be clever. Now, most people would just have, some people might have blocked him. Some people might have just ignored it. But no, I didn't. I didn't. I was like, okay, you really think that? So in the video, yes, I did shit up on that launch scan tool because it was shit compared to the Autel. It was 350 quid. And as soon as I got it, I tried to update it. It says the memory was gone. The memory was full. I couldn't update it. There was 3 updates on it and I couldn't update it. And I was like, this is not right. So I contacted launch and I was like, this isn't right. You know, are you going to do anything about it? Because if you fix it, then I can say in the video, look, well, they know the problem. They're going to fix it. The response I got back was just download whichever car you're working on. Now, the issue with that is if you just want a scan tool that just does Ford, you can buy a scan tool for like $10 on Amazon, on eBay, whatever it is, and it just does one specific car. Why spend 350 quid? It's a waste of money. So all these points were valid. The launch had a better software system. The page scrolls down, up and down, rather than the page folding over. The problem is when the page folds over, you can lose split seconds of data. Everything I said in that video, if you actually watch it, the points are valid. Now, this is where this guy completely falls down. So, I think in my tooth. What the hell was that? I don't know. Anyway, so he said you're biased to launch or you're biased to Autel. In that same video, I show another launch scan tool and I said it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you'll see in previous videos, in about 20, 30 videos, I use that launch scan tool in every single video. And I say how good it is. For the price of that particular scan tool and what it does was unbelievable. I've said that in 20, 30 videos. So if I said that in 20 or 30 videos, how can I be biased towards Autel? Think about it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a fucking idiot. So I then basically said the same thing. So I said, how so? Look at my other oh, hold on, let's just get this all in thing. I said, how so? Look at my other videos. You will see in most of them, I use a scan tool and I use a launch scan tool and say it's absolutely brilliant, which I do. I do. So before making stupid comments, watch the rest of the video of the scan lot. It's supposed to be scan tool, scan lot. Everything I said it is true. You can clearly see that. I show in the video a different launch scan tool and say it's brilliant. Know your facts before making stupid comments. Now, my comments in the video, I stand by them. That video lost me thousands of pounds because as soon as I released that video, launch didn't want anything to do with me anymore. Right? They didn't want to send me anything because they were pissed off that I said their scan tool was shit. Because it was shit and it is shit. So I lost a lot of money. Didn't care about the money. I got a lot of grief from that video because I said it was shit and all the fanboys came out. I'm trying to save people money. If I turn around and said that scan tool was brilliant and loads of people went out and bought it, because let's face it, 350 quid for a scan tool is nothing. you know, compared to you can spend 15,000-20,000 on a scan tool. So 350 quid is nothing. And a lot of people might thought, do you know what, that he said that's great, it can do most stuff, I'll buy that because I don't want to spend 1,000, 1,500 quid on a scan tool. So if he says it's all right, it must be. And then them to get it and they're pissed off. So I said the truth, I lost thousands. If I was that bothered and I was going to lie to save myself thousands, I would have lied, but I didn't. And that's also what he didn't realize, because he's a muppet, right? This is the thing. Now, am I wrong? Say it in the comments. Am I wrong? What I've just said there, I could have lied. I could have pissed people off, wasted the money, and I personally lost thousands of pounds because I lost everything with launch. That one video completely destroyed me with launch. And I would do it again tomorrow. I don't care. Now, for £1,000,000 quid, I think I'd lie, to be honest. £1,000,000 my is my lying money. So yeah. Slow start B injectors. Not necessarily. Slow start could be anything. Not necessarily injectors. I got Chinese copy of the EDS 500E and I downloaded Allcom best thing for under 100 quid. Well, there you go. There you go. So yeah, fucking idiot with these stupid comments. Mike starts bang on every time, occasionally runs a bit rough on idle. The thing is, like I said, Mike, look, it could be injectors, it could be, you know, the fuel's not getting to it because there's a block filter, block tank, it could be pump, it could be the pressure on, you know, the pressure sensor on the pump, it could be the sensor on the rail, and it could be everything. They're not the easiest things to diagnose, but with that little tool I was telling you about, you can wipe injectors off instantly. At least that's one thing off. You put a new filter, that's two things off, and then you go from there. That's the way I do it anyway. That's what I would always do regardless. If a customer came to me and it had that fuel, and even if he said, I got a fuel filter yesterday, I would still put a new one in it, because the tank could be blocked and blocked up the fuel filter. So that's just the way I do it. Sounds like updating TomTom. Download for an hour and then crashes and loses connection. Mike, sorry, bud, but was a question for my Renault Traffic 1.9. I've changed all the sensors and been slow. It's been slow to start since I brought it, and chasing wires really. What? How do you mean you've changed all the sensors? Or which sensors have you changed? And what error codes are you getting? It just become a non-start. Are you getting any error codes? Respect for standing by you. Exactly. You know, look, at the end of the day, I never thought this would happen. But if I said, this is absolutely brilliant, everyone buys this, some people will buy it because of what I said. Not everyone, just some people. And I don't want to be responsible for someone buying something, spending their own hard-earned money on something that I don't believe in, or something that I think is crap. So I will say it, whether it costs me thousands or not. That video costs me thousands. There's not many people that would do that because they don't want to lose the money. But don't get me wrong, I didn't want to lose the money either, but I did. It's, you know, anyway. Thumbs up for piss taking and sarcasm. Yeah, that's the thing. I just like doing it because it's funny. I'm just going to find some other comments now, because there's some. Oh, I got a comment the other day. See if I can find it before I say it. Just talk among yourselves for a minute. See, this is where I should have really have maybe you know, got all these comments together and did it on the driveway. Saved me 700 quid. Thanks. Good idea. Well, see, there you go. Look. See, this is what it's all about, right? Watch this. This is what it's all about. So, we got Carl here. And I said, I did this for £10, not £400. So it was the subframe bushings that I did. And the special tools for it was 400 odd quid, right? And I found a, it was a Nissan tool for something. I got it on eBay for a tenner. And I showed it worked. It worked perfectly, but it wasn't the proper tool. But it doesn't matter. It still worked. And this guy said, did it on the driveway, saved me 700 quid. What a great idea. And there you go. That's what it's about, right? That's what it is about. Because, and I get this, if I use, especially on timing belts, right? If I use a bolt or a screw or a drill bit, oh, it's not the fucking special tool, you shouldn't be able to use it, you're showing people how to do it wrong. It doesn't matter how you do it. If you want to do a timing belt with your fucking tongue and you hold all the cams in place and you put it back on without doing any damage, then you've done it fucking right. You haven't done it fucking wrong. Doesn't matter what you use, as long as there's no damage. What's the problem? And these are the muppets you get saying, oh, you should do this, you should do, and it's just, do you know what I mean? It's like, as long as you do the job and the job is done right, it doesn't make a difference if you use the proper tool for 400 quid or a tool you've made or a tool you've got secondhand for a tenner. It doesn't matter. It doesn't bloody matter. Bill Jackson, I meant to answer this question, but I saw it come up and then I completely forgot about it. What scan tool would you rate as the best? Now, unfortunately, I cannot answer that because I haven't used them all. There's thousands of scan tools out there that I haven't used, so it's just impossible to say. I've used, you know, scan tools from literally $5 up to 20,000. And even the 20 grand ones don't do everything. So I keep looking up there because that's where my screen is. I'm not looking at the camera. So unfortunately, it's just impossible to say. The best scan tool is the scan tool that works for you. So if you're just working on one particular car and you just get a scan tool that's really cheap just for that particular car, it's perfect. Now, I have got another scan tool that I'm showing soon. It's an X tool as well, and it's free lifetime updates. It has no bi-directional controls, but it's relatively cheap. And it's free lifetime updates. So you can't go wrong with something like that. I'll be doing a video on that shortly. You know, when it's cheap, free lifetime updates, what more do you want? Autel all the way. I love your honesty. Cam and crank filters. Check both. Pump regulators. And it's a strange one. Yeah, it is, but it's when it's a strange one like that, right? It's normally something really easy. I've said this before. People say knowledge is power. And I think that's absolute bullshit. And I'll explain why it's absolute bullshit, right? If you knew everything about this phone, right? You knew everything about it, the way, and I mean everything, right? Like to the how, just everything, right? If it breaks down, you're going to be thinking of a million things and you're going to be overthinking it. And you will never think of the simple thing because you are that good and you're thinking that far ahead. You won't think of the obvious things. Where if someone who is just learning how to fix this phone comes on it, I'm not saying you won't fix it eventually, but what I'm trying to get at is, if you know everything about it, is someone that comes that's just been training on it, right? For example, and they say, look, these are the common problems. He's going to remember these common problems and maybe go to it straight away because he doesn't know all the other problems, because he doesn't know. So he's going to fix it quite quickly. Do you see what I'm saying? The more you know sometimes, the worse it can be. That's the problem, if that makes sense. If you don't lose the money you would have lost your integrity. Instead, you made exactly, and I still stand by my the video. I stand by it 100%, and I would do the same tomorrow. What I do though is for the companies, and I do this, and I did this with launch. I messaged them first. So I said, look, I found this issue. Do you know about it and what you're going to do about it? So, and they came back to me with a stupid answer. And I said, so that's your answer then? And then I'm like, if they said, look, yeah, we know the problem. We've sent a few out. The memory was wrong. We made a mistake, blah, blah. I could then say in the video and say, look, it is a good scan tool, but make sure you get such and such of a number. Then you won't have this issue. I give them the opportunity to answer. I don't just blast them straight away. And I've also said, and I've said it in even Hobby Tool videos and stuff, and, you know, they've then come back to me and says, yeah, look, we know this problem and we're going to fix it. And then I can say in the video, look, there is an issue with this tool, but they know about it and they're going to fix it. And to me, that's the company. That looks better for the company because they know there's an issue and they're going to fix it rather than just saying we don't give a shit. So I think that looks better for the company too. So it just depends on the company. It depends on what. So when you're dealing with these massive companies, you know, they don't need to listen to you in that sense because, you know, unless you're like the biggest YouTuber, you know, with millions and millions and millions of subscribers, tens of millions, you're not even going to make any difference to them. Even the big YouTubers, you know, struggle sometimes when they say something. So, yeah, it just kind of depends. Bosch are pretty good all around, especially with scopes. Oh, you mean Bosch scan tools? Yeah, I've had bad experience with Bosch scan tools, to be honest. Honda Jazz for a young first-time driver, mate. Is that a question? It is, question mark. You mean, is a Honda Jazz good for a young first-time driver? I'm guessing that's what you mean, Pat. Look, any small car is good for a learner driver. A small cheap car is brilliant because let's face it, being a learner driver, they're maybe going to curb the wheel, they're maybe going to reverse into something. The chance of them damaging it is quite high compared to someone that's been driving for 5 years, for example. So anything cheap run around is perfect because it's cheap. So if it breaks down or they crash it doesn't really matter. So yeah, anything like that would be fine. If the job's done with any homemade tools and your own ideas, then give more satisfaction for the fun. Exactly. It's just when I show tools or I show like a different way of doing it. For example, on a lot of the Volkswagen timing belts, there's 3 little bolts you can move, and you can move the pulley to make the timing belt easier to come on, but you have to get that back right because you can get an error code in the car. It won't do any damage to the engine, but you have this constant engine light on and it's annoying. So I show how to do it without removing them bolts. Yes, it's a little bit tricky, but it's possible. I've shown it in 2 or 3 videos, and the grief I get for it, oh, it's not doing it right. Them cars are still going, so it is doing it right. It doesn't make a difference. Like I said, if you want to stick your tongue on the pulleys and lock it with your tongue, what difference does it make? As long as it works, it doesn't matter. Leon, you just have no respect. Leon, you just have no respect for Guardians from YouTube University who spent hours on the internet just to piss off with this stupid comment. Brilliant. Partners, how we doing, mate? Yeah. No, I have no respect for them. Well, I actually do, because you see, I like trolls, and people say, and it's funny, right? People say, because I used to put on my Instagram and stuff, I used to put when someone asked a stupid question or trolling me, and I'd put my response, and people would, oh, don't feed the trolls. You should give people that are sending you nice messages I think, and I do. People that send me nice messages, I do answer them. So I answer everybody. But if I was to do a video, for example, right, think of it this way: if I was to do a video on trolls and the stupid comments, that would get a lot of views, because, you know, it'll get a lot of views for two reasons. One's the trolls would love it. Oh yeah, look, he read my message, you know, he's this, he's that, so they would love it. And if I come back with really funny answers, normal people would like the funny answers, right? And the video would do very well. But then if I did a video on all the nice comments, oh, Leon, you're brilliant. Leon, you're this. Leon, you're that. You know, you saved me this. You saved me that. You're absolutely, you know, you're brilliant. You're God. You're beautiful and all this, right? Which obviously I am, as we know. People just, oh, you're being vain. And it wouldn't be very funny, because it would just look like I'm trying to say, look at me, I'm brilliant. I mean, we all know I'm brilliant. I don't need to say it. You know, we know. So that's the problem. That's why the troll videos would be funnier. You know, but I still answer people who say thingy. So this guy who has said, you know, save me a fortune, I didn't see that message. I'm going to answer him now. Boom. So, you know, it's just funny. The best scandal is the one. What is in my mouth? Ugh. Oh, hold on, I missed one. My Civic was a long time cranking, then no start, no codes. Did spill test on cylinder 2, was filling the chamber on cranking. Changed it, all good now. Those are crap for the injectors. Oh, my nose. Cheers for the reply. No problem, mate. The best scan tool is the manufacturer software, e.g. this is the PSA star for Mercedes, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but I mean that's technically true, but also fucking expensive. To buy a manufacturer specific scan tool for every car. But yeah, I mean, but you see the thing is now, right? You have to be careful, because now it technically isn't. And what I mean by that is you buy, well, for modern cars, not for older cars, but for modern cars. So I'm talking like cars that are a couple of years old and new cars now. Even the main dealer scan tools, not all of them, but a lot of them are all online now. So you need an interface to plug into the car, but then everything is online. So someone can't buy, say, the Peugeot scan tool and then copy all the crap off it and then, you know, pirate it out. You can't do that with online stuff. Just like all the old auto data and stuff that used to be on CD. They're not doing it on CD anymore, because they know people used to get it and copy it and blah 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 blah. It's all online because it's harder to copy. So that's the issue now. It actually, depending on the scan tool and depending on the car, it's not. Look, cow's ass. I'm the proud owner of a VW Passat 2003 PD 130, and it only has 34 on the clock. Did someone clock it? Someone put a new clock in it. I can give you a clock, mate, that says 0. It'd be even better then. Yeah, I won't get started on cars with less mileage on, because it's not necessarily better. A car with less mileage on can have a lot more problems. Now, when you're talking about, you know, Ferraris and stuff like that, yeah, they're worth a million times more with hardly any mileage on them. But a normal car can have problems when it has low mileage. Just turn the lights on my seat. Look at that. Oh, can you see that? Can you see that? Oh, this way. No, that way. And turn the seat that way. Yeah, that's the problem. because the little old woman driving a car to church every day, right, isn't a great car. And the reason why I say that is because everything deteriorates over time. You know, people come to me and I'd say, well, your timing belt's due. Oh, but I've been told my timing belt lasts 100,000 miles. My car's only done 15,000 miles. Yeah, but it's more than 4 or 5 years old. You know, if you put a timing belt on a car and you let it sat there for 5 years, it would need another, and it's done 0 mileage, it would need another timing belt because it starts breaking down. And when you have cars with less mileage on them, a lot of stuff hasn't been used every day. Like the car, that series I did, Can You Fix the Car? The series that I did on the when I was trying to get people in the comments to fix the car. That car has done very, very low mileage and no one saw it. That car had a load of what I call white rust on it, like mold almost on the engine. You know, when engine's been sitting for a long time, it has this like white mold on it. That's not good. Damp got in everywhere, and if that car is running every day, that would never have been an issue with that car. So you do have to be careful. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying you have to be careful because, you know, all the plastic fuel lines start cracking a lot sooner. You know, all the CV boots start cracking sooner because they're not being used as much. So you just have to be careful. Yeah, new stuff is online based. I had the login for my old job, E3 BMW, for 3 years, and they just realised. Oh, I bet that must be fucking annoying. Yeah, that must be annoying, especially when, like, literally, and you can bet your life, right? And that sort of stuff happens the day you really need it. You've been looking at it for years just for little bits, and something comes in, you think, oh, I got this, it's going to be perfect. You know it's coming in, so you're getting ready for the next day. You think, right, I'm going to log in first thing in the morning and check this out, and bang, it's gone. That's all. Yeah, fucking nightmare. Bought it off an old guy, full main dealer history. Full main dealer history, that's like 2 services then. I remember servicing an A3 and it only had like 22,000 miles on it. It was only a few years old. And I rang up the main dealer because it was still under warranty. So once it's under warranty, you need the main dealer parts. And he turned around to me and I said, I need the full service kit. He said, what mileage is it done? Told him the mileage. Oh, no, you don't need a diesel filter. Audi say the diesel filter lasts 50,000 miles, which is 5 years. Most people's drive, that's 5 years. I said, but I want a diesel filter. But you don't need one. And he was fucking arguing with me. I said, I want a diesel filter. So that's the problem with main dealers too. They'll only put in what the main dealer or what, you know, Volkswagen, Ford or whatever says it'll do. It's crazy. 50,000 miles for a diesel filter. Are you mental? I think I did a video on that actually because I couldn't believe it. My 2009 C200 just gone past 217,000 miles. I remember that Skoda. I was convinced it was the spare wheel. Yep. Guy used to go the shop and keep it in the garage. Engine bay looked like it had just come out of the factory, and he used ride the clutch, so just had the clutch done. 1,200 quid. 1,200 quid. 1,250. Oh no, look, I'm not dishing the car, mate. I'm just saying, low mileage cars aren't necessarily the best. They're easier to sell and you can get more money for them, but they're not necessarily the best. That's what I'm trying to get at. Unless you're talking like, you know, some kind of fancy sports car. You know, like my Cozzy has very low mileage, so it means it's worth a lot more money, which I'm not complaining. But it's not good that it's got low mileage. It'd be better if it was driven all the time. It'd been serviced every year. Yeah, but what type of service? Because if it's the main dealer, like I said, I was arguing with the main dealer. He wasn't going to give me the stuff because he said the diesel filter do 50,000 miles. He wasn't going to do it. And at the time, the car was, I think the car was 3.5 years old. And it only had It only had like 20 odd thousand kilometers on it or something. Yeah, nearly 4 years old and had 20 something thousand kilometers. Anyway, that's 17,000 miles a year on average. I think what's the average mileage? Is it 10 or 12,000 a year? I'm going to Ireland because Ireland's a lot smaller, so I think that's the average mile in Ireland. It's about 10,000 miles a year, I think. I think that's what it is. Now I'm now doing 3K a year, and I get what you are saying. It's my car for life. Well, there you go. That's all that matters. As long as you're happy with it, as long as you like it, it doesn't matter. And this is why on other people's comments, I never get this. When I do videos and someone spent a lot of money on a car, and people, oh, that's not worth it. Why would you do that? What is it to you? It's not your money. If you want to spend 50 grand on that Passat to do whatever you want to do on it, well, then you spend 50 grand on it. What difference does it make to everyone else? Just because someone else thinks it's a waste of money doesn't mean it is to the person that's putting the money into it. I don't understand people when they say that. And they think buying a newer car is buying a better car. It's not necessarily buying a better car. You're buying bigger problems. Now, normally a newer car does normally mean less issues, but when them issues become prevalent, it then starts costing more. So I've never understood that with people. If you want to buy a car and it's worth £1,000 and you want to put 15,000 into it, then you put 15,000 into it. I don't understand why people get so irate, especially on YouTube. And they're getting a free video, so you're doing something in that video that's going to help them in the long run, because they'll be, oh, I remember someone did a video on that and they did this, he did that. And so it's only going to help them. And yet they just, yeah, fucking idiots. 4 or 6 cam belts and oil fitted every year. 4 or 6 cam belts and oil fills. Oh, is that? Hold on. 4 or 5 cam belts. You mean it's had 4 or 5 cam, but not every year, surely. I'd say 12,000 mil would be average. Yeah, I think in Ireland it's a little bit less because obviously Ireland's a little bit smaller. I think. All right, let me see if I can find another comment. So we can just have fun with some Muppets. This is what I'm realizing now, how many people have actually missed. I get that many comments a day. It's so difficult to see them all and reply to them all. So, and then people, there's some comments here. They're not bad comments. But then some people say, well, you know, you do know you can do this. And it's like, yeah, I do know you can do that. But like the Mercedes I did, right? Someone says, you do know you can lift the engine out from the top. Well, of course I know that. You look at all my engine change videos, I lift 99.9% of engines out at the top. But in this particular case, because I wanted the car on the floor, and I wanted it because I was doing the timing chain, it suited me to take it out the bottom, because it was just easier once you're working on the car. And the guy wasn't being a dick, but he was just and I'm just using that as an example, but some people then try and be clever when they say and do that, and you just don't realize what you're doing. Like, I don't get this comment. I'll show you this comment now in a second. Have you put your ramps up in your shed yet? There's a new, well, look, I won't say anything yet, but there's things happening. All right, we'll just leave it at that at the minute. Wife's Beetle. in town is every 4 years, regardless of mileage. Did it at 1200 now. Exactly, because you know they do where I spent a fortune on my 2009 XC90 recently, worth every penny to keep it on the road. See, that's another thing. And this is another thing. You know, you're keeping cars on the road. You're not just putting them in the scrap heap and causing more issues for the planet. Like, I don't understand people's you know, problem with doing that. I really don't. I had a taxi company for 5 years and I had them engines living. That's a bit of punishment. I could give them all. I only ran one for 50. Only ran one for 50 without a service. And I used it in oil. Green stick error. Right, like I was speaking to someone about this ages ago, right? And it because you can't really come across as being sarcastic on a message, you know, someone could write something and depending on how you read it, you could pick it up wrong. So if someone says something, I might think, well, that guy's being a dick. But then I say it's someone else and he's like, no, he's not being a dick. He's just saying this. So it all depends on how you read it. Now, this is not a bad comment or anything, but I just don't get it. And I get a lot of comments like this. And of course, this is just the first one I've come across. So I'll put this back up on the screen. Right. So you can see it here where he's just said no, right? I did this video here. You can see the little arrow on it here, right? I literally saved the customer thousands. Ford wanted over $4,000 to fix this car. The car was only worth 1,500, and Ford wanted $4,000 to fix it. And I literally fixed it for €1. You'll see the video. And this guy just says no. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, tell me in the comments, do you think is he shocked? Is he, you know, like, because I don't know how to read that in that sense. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. So it'd be interesting for you in the comments to what you think, because I guarantee you everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. And I want to actually, that's a good idea. I'll see if I can find some more messages where I maybe read them differently to how you guys read them. So yeah, tell me what you think of that. Do you think that yeah, how do you read that? Now, again, when you're going off someone's name, you can kind of tell if they're not from your area. So there might be a foreigner to you. So sometimes English isn't their first language. So you have to bear that in mind too, because they might have said something and just not got the interpretation right, if that makes sense. So my XC90 is in daily drive, so it's top priority that the Mercedes is the weekend toy and back up when the XC90 is out of action. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people think of this no, because you could read that in a lot of ways. You know, you could read it that he's shocked. You could read it that he maybe thinks I'm lying. Oh, I've been, yeah, that's another thing. I've been accused in one video of faking rust. Yes, faking rust. And you're just like, do you know what? Do you know what? When you hear things like that, you're just like, yeah, whatever. No one's answering what they think about this no yet, unless it's just such a lag on the screen. So let me just see if someone's going to answer that. If I look at the other, I would think no is just a disbelief. Yeah, again, it can be. So there's another one here that I do not get. I'll show you this one now. Don't waste your time entertaining comments. That doesn't explain the reason for. See, this is where I understand what you're saying. Don't waste my time on comments, but this is also where you maybe wasn't here at the beginning of the video, and I explain why I do this, and I'll just quickly explain it again. I know what you're saying, and look, each to their own, right? But the way YouTube works, the more comments, the more likes or dislikes you get on your video, right? Whether they're good comments or bad comments, it helps your videos. When YouTube see activations on your videos, they don't care if it's good or bad. They just see interactions on your videos. So when you answer these trolls, right, it does two things. One, it pisses them off, which is just hilarious, because after 2 or 3 messages, they cannot keep answering because they don't know what they're talking about, right? And it's more views, more messages on my video. So it actually helps me. So they don't realize that they're actually helping you. On the biggest YouTube channels, the trolls are helping them more than they realize. And the trolls don't realize this. If there was no such thing as trolls, I guarantee you most people's videos would be cut in half as regards views and everything, subscribers, the lot. It's just true. So it actually helps. That's why I actually answer them. Leon, did you ever manage to find the 4-wheel dolly? No. I've never managed to find. No, I didn't, unfortunately. I spoke to a few people and I never managed to find one. But I brought something different in the meantime. But I've had it for a long time. My Patreons know what it is. I put pictures on my Patreons, but I haven't actually shared. And I don't want to say it yet because this video is coming. So there's something else kind of happening there as well. In reality, the customer would never be charged €1 for something after being quoted so much from the dealer. Probably thinks it's bollocks. No, I mean, I obviously charge the customer more, right? That's not, but you have to clickbait the title. That's, again, this is just the way YouTube works, unfortunately. If I didn't, you just wouldn't get as many views, and it's horrible, but it's just people like seeing you fuck up. Like the video I put, customer spent 4,000, came back with the same problem. That got so many views because of the title. If I put the true title on it, people wouldn't see it, and then they love to, oh, you screwed the customer, you did this. And yet then these people moan that you've maybe done a clickbait title, but they're only there for a clickbait title. Can you see how hypocritical these people here are? That they moan at you for a clickbait title, but yet they're only there because they want to see you fuck up. So they're the fucking hypocrites. Anyway, so the actual part that was gone cost €1. Obviously, I charge more. The part that Ford wanted to put in was something like, I think it was it 2,800 or something like that? The part that Ford wanted to put in. So, and then the labor and everything on top of it. So I only charge the part that was actually gone was only worth literally like €1. So that's what that was. Thanks for your help. I'm nearly an expert on Renault traffics because of your videos. I'm off to bed. See you later, mate. Have fun. You saved me time and money on your Citroen videos. Well, that's what it's like. I said, look, that's what it's all about. Helping people, and then helping people save money. And look, everyone 14. Oh, we got a new subscriber, another stalker. It should have said another stalker. Why didn't it say another stalker? Oh, should have said another stalker. Anyway, I'll quickly show you this comment because again, I don't get this comment. And this is not, I'm not being, you know, it's not a bad comment. I just don't get it. So you'll see it here, Gerald on the BMW teardown. Do you know of him? Like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. Do I know of who? Don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Some of them, you know, they're not bad, but I just don't get it. Can anyone shed any light on that? Because I truly can't. I don't get it. Don't know. I don't know. See if anyone's going to answer that, because I just don't know. I want to check, because that should have done something differently. That shouldn't have said sorted. That should have said something else. So has my OBS Studios messed up? So I'm going to quickly check that. Why, if someone can tell me what they maybe think has happened there. So OBS Studio, is that going to work? Oh no, that's that one. I need. Here we go. I need that one. Oh, I've got to log in. I'll have to do it later. That's maybe the problem. Can't be asked to go through all that now. When someone subscribes, it should say, "Oh, another stalker." And if someone sends a super chat, it will say how much the super chat is, and it will read out the message. And I can do a test on it, but I have to log into it, and just can't be asked. Halfords wanted 950 to do a camber on a Stitch and Dispatch. Did it myself thanks to your video. Oh, there you go. Saved a fortune. That's what it's all about, mate. I didn't know Halfords did jobs like that. Obviously, because they don't do it here, as far as I know. Must be just a UK thing. Someone's multitasking YouTube and sent the wrong comment. It's a possibility. See, I didn't actually think of that. But that, again, yeah, that's a reasonable explanation. Someone could have accidentally done that. See, this is what I'm saying. It's good to get other people's inputs, because, to be honest, that's not what I was thinking. Like, this isn't a bad comment either, but I'm going to answer this comment now because I meant to answer it thingy. Someone said, can a seasoned Cigna engine be brought back to life? Well, yes. I mean, any engine can be brought back to life, no matter what it is, even if it's literally split in half. If you want to put the money into it, of course. But it comes down to time and money. It wouldn't be worth rebuilding that engine for what you can get second-hand ones for, and the customer wouldn't do it. If I was to give a customer a price for a second-hand engine, or a price 4 or 5 times more for a reconditioned engine, no one's going to do it because it's not going to be worth doing. So it just comes down to money. So yeah, money talks. And it's funny when I now this is nothing to do with the comment, it's just the video. So ignore the comments because there's nothing wrong with the comment. This video here is a little YouTube short. And I put up, and this is what's really funny, right? When I put up a video, this was just a quick YouTube short. I put a video basically to look, do you think this is wrong or right? Okay. And when I do that, when I don't give my opinion, or if I don't say, look, this is wrong or this is right, all the YouTube armchair warriors don't come out because they can't answer this question because they don't know. Now, if I was to make an opinion on it, they'll go against my opinion just because I said something on it, right? Like if I say something's black, they'll just say it's white just because. So there was an issue with this. The timing was set wrong. It was still working, but it was set wrong. And I could clearly tell from the way the Woodruff key is in the middle of the camshaft or the middle of the sprocket, right? When you're used to doing them, you can see them as clear as day. And the YouTube armchair warriors didn't come out because they couldn't give me the answer. Because they didn't know because the fucking idiots. So that was quite funny. I like doing that sometimes too. Must be Halford's Auto Centre, not a shop. They took over Auto Network a few years back. Oh, okay. Okay. Do Citroen's BCM need coding to the BSI? My fuse box is fried. It depends on the car, mate. Some of them do, some of them don't. Depends on the age of the car. Volkswagen are a nightmare for it. Ford are a nightmare for it. You know, like you change the dash clocks in a Ford or a Volkswagen, you have to recode everything. And that's been that way for years. Because all the immobilizer runs through all of it. And the immobilizer runs through some of that too on a lot of cars. Doing mine today, ripped into a pulled. No, that's not bad. See, and like I was saying before, if I was to put up all the really good comments, people just think that oh, you're just showing off, you're just doing this, you're just doing that. So you read the bad comments, you can't really get, people can't really say anything about you. You guys should start selling your own cars privately. Buys in other European countries. It's not legal to do that anyway. What? $9.50 for a timing belt. I bet the dealer would have charged less. You guys should start selling your cars to private buyers in other European countries if it's legal. It's legal to do that. I don't understand that. Don't understand it. Oh yeah, this is another one. This is one that a guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't like the idea of shaving. I'm just going to read it first, just so I know I get it right before I show it. Because, like I said, I've read some before, and I was like, "Oh, you being a dick," and then I've read it again. I was like, "Actually, no, you're not. I just read it wrong." They should change the tool to appear in small hole at the bottom. Build this line. Okay, that's not too bad. Right. This is not so much of a bad comment, but on this particular video, I got a lot of shit. So, we'll show this because, again, this is just fucking idiots that don't know what they're talking about. So, how to remove seized glow plugs with no special tools, right? I did this on purpose and I didn't use any WD-40 or anything like that because WD-40 is not a lubricant. Oh, cat. Yeah, the cat. WD-40 is not a lubricant. It was designed for NASA to stop the water sitting on the rockets and make the rockets heavier for when it goes takeoff, right? And if there was more water on one side than the other, it could actually affect the rocket. So when you see like the Saturn V rockets going off, you see this like white cloud coming off. That's WD-40 washing away the water. And as it goes off, it's clean, right? Or there's nothing sticking on it. Because every little bit of weight made all the difference. Now, just because something was designed for something doesn't mean it doesn't work for something else. Not disputing that. But the noises that this was making a horrible noise. You should have put WD-40 on it. It made no difference. I got the heater plug out without breaking it. I got the heater plug out without doing any damage, right? It's not a problem. Actually, I'll be back in 1 second. Let me do that. Hello, I'm back. I did cat going mental. Right, so there was no damage done. Yes, it was making a bit of noise. And people say, you should have put WD-40 in there, it would have stopped the noise. Now, 100% WD-40 would have stopped the squeaking. Not denying that. but it wouldn't have made it come out any easier because it was the carbon that was built up inside it. The WD-40 cannot break down carbon. It just can't. There's loads of videos out there proving that most stuff to, you know, supposedly free up threads, once a thread is put in there and it's tight and there's rust and stuff in it, nothing will penetrate that. Nothing will. Heat is the best way to do anything, but certain things you can't heat up because it's in the way of stuff and you'll do damage. You could even blow up the car. So this video got a lot of hate, and it was just fucking stupid because I did the job. There was no damage done. It just made a bit of noise. WD-40 would have stopped the noise, but it wouldn't have made the job any easier. This is just fucking idiots again. Now, this wasn't a bad comment. It's just when you look at some of the comments on that video, they were quite bad, because lubricant wouldn't have made any difference. Just would have stopped the noise. It wouldn't have made any difference. I'm getting on. How are you getting on with your furnace? I brought one after seeing your review on it. Love it. Oh, it's brilliant. That is the Rolls Royce of welders. It is unbelievable. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What was that? Hello? Oh, just laughing. It is absolutely unbelievable, right? Fantastic welder. The stuff Fronius do is just unbelievable, and most people don't know it. It's like just one of them industry brands that people don't know. But just the Rolls Royce of welders, you will not buy a better welder. What do you think of the Foxwell NT4 644 Pro for a DIY mechanic second-hand? I've done videos on that. That scan tool was brilliant. I got that when it was more or less new. Free lifetime updates. Now I haven't updated mine in years. The thing's most probably gone now, but it was advertised as free lifetime updates. No bi-directional controls. They maybe have sorted that out now, I don't know, but the time I had mine there was no bi-directional control, but it would still do DPF regens. It will still do all that. Brilliant. Again, for the money, it was brilliant. Dog's out now. Citroen Dispatch 2 litre 2011. Again, is that a question? I'm not sure. WD water, yeah, exactly. That's what WD-40 was. Water detention on the 40th try. It took him 40 times to get it. That's what it's for. Nothing to do with penetration oil. Now, again, I'm not saying in certain circumstances it might work. I'm not saying, you know, just because something was designed for something and they've used it for something else. I'm not disputing that. But WD-40 was never designed as a penetrant. That's the facts. Very, very clever marketing has brought it into people's limelight. But let's also face it, right? And be honest now, right? Most people, I'm guilty of this too. Most people will squirt WD-40 or any type of lubricant on and straight away go at the bolt. They say on any of it, you have to wait like 15, 20 minutes for it to work its way in. How many people honestly wait? And you're in a busy garage and you've got, you know, 5 or 6 cars to do a day. You cannot be waiting 15, 20 minutes on each bolt for it to get it out because you will be fired. So, you know, in the real world, it's completely different. Does the Signal engine make it far enough? Like, now this is a funny comment, right? This is not a bad comment. This is just a funny comment. It's just happened to come up. So it was on the Insignia video again. Someone said, does the Insignia engine make it far enough to have a timing belt interval? That's funny. That is funny. Automat, yeah, that's funny. Better play, mate. I'm going to reply to that. Because it's bloody funny. Do-do-do-do. Should say just about. Should say just about. Shouldn't say just about. Shouldn't say just about. Again, I'm confused. What have I missed? Have I missed something? Should say just about. Should say just. See, the problem is because there's such a lag between when I'm talking on my top screen to when I'm getting messages on my bottom screen. I can't remember what I've just said. Let's look a few more comments. Oh, is he still here? Is Bartaz still here? Because I've just seen one of his comments. I was going to show one of his comments. I don't know if he's still here. In response to the timing bell. Oh, so see what I mean, right? That makes sense now, right? That makes sense. But when I read that a few seconds ago and forgot I was talking about the thing, I completely didn't make sense to me. See, this is the same with YouTube comments. Just you see, I was like, what are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying, mate. And now I do. See? Yeah. Just yeah. Uh, 2008 Saab 93 1.9 180 horsepower automatic gearbox was thrashed it on the motorway using paddle shift. Now the fifth gear is very high revs, just about to put into sixth gear and went to limit mode. Yeah, automatic gearboxes can be a nightmare. Drove it another 50 miles home, turned it off. Tried starting it and wouldn't start. Cranks but won't start. Oh, okay. Because what I was gonna say is, you might need to do an old automatic gearbox service, but now it won't start. It could be slightly seasoned and not turning the engine enough. You're gonna have to plug. I was about to say you have to plug some code in. I got a code for vacuum leak, but I smoke test it. Can't find a leak. Well, what I suggest is do the obvious things. What does an engine need to start? It needs fuel, it needs air, and it needs spark of some description. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. So go on your scan tool, check for that. Check your crankshaft sensor. Make sure you got a working crankshaft sensor. Make sure it's reading a few hundred RPM. Then start looking at fuel pressures and stuff. And then if that doesn't work, you're going to have to go a little bit further looking at other sensors. But I would get all the data PIDs open and see if there's any sensor that looks wrong or is not reading. That's what you have to do first, mate. Every time I think through a car returns in space, that's not bad. One plug should be two should be wires. Should be in dead center. Spark car pulley is against one side before it's the tensioner. The guys get this wrong. Some engines are forward. See, that guy was right. This guy was bang on with the comment. So we'll show this guy, Anthony, he knows what he's bloody talking about. So on this video here, or this little YouTube short, this was the issue. As soon as I took the bottom sprocket off, I knew straight away that there was an issue in the sense of the timing belt wasn't done properly. The car was still running, but it wasn't done properly. And you can actually get, on this particular car, you can actually get an error code for this. So this is why I was saying that you have to be careful, because an error code is possible to get for this. The key should be in the dead center in the sprocket cutout. Pulley is set against the right hand side before releasing the tensioner. Perfect, he got it right. Got a code for a vacuum, so we rent that. Java, how we doing, mate? I've just gone past a few of your comments, actually. I saw one of your comments up here. Where is it? Here we go. First, boom. Cheers, mate. Here we go. Look, see, look, you're famous now. You're famous. Oh, funny. I know what his next question's going to be as well. I know what he's going to say. Hard work. I should have really have, like I said, I'm going to be going now in a minute anyway, but I might, next time I do this, I might get some comments like pre-already done, because it's just a lot easier. Great job. Did you get the thinking for you when you opened the bottom? If the ECU does not have live info, it will not read automatically. Right, this is another comment that just, he didn't read the fucking, he didn't look at the video properly. I think this will be the last comment I show, and then that's it. Ford Fiesta 3004, intermittent misfire and cylinder 4. Customer says it's been running rough on cold startups. Anything common? Well, intermittent issues are always the worst. You want like a dead fault because it's so much bloody easier. So if you think about it, if it's a misfire on cylinder 4, it can only be a few things. It can be low on compression. It can be a dodgy plug. It can be a dodgy coil, or it can be dodgy wiring. Now, if it's intermittent, it's not, you can pretty much say it's not going to be compression, because compression is either there or it isn't there. Plugs, again, now you do have to be careful with plugs. You can get intermittent plugs, but more than likely it's not going to be a plug. So that only really leaves two things: cylinder, coil pack, or wiring. So yeah, and I'm sure on them, depending on what year Fiesta it is, it's just going to be a single coil pack that has two on each side, so it's going to be a complete coil pack. But it's easy to check the coil pack because you can just lift up the HT lead and see if you can hear it coming in. But because they're really, really cheap, if it's the Fiesta I'm thinking about, you can just, you know, just give it a good service. 4 new plugs, heater plugs, new HT leads. It doesn't cost a lot, and just, you know, then you know. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, to be honest, because like I said, intermittent issues, it can't be anything serious like, you know, compression or anything like that. So yeah, me and Java are always having a discussion. Which is a better fighter plane? The beautiful, the magnificent, the gorgeous Spitfire. Which, well, I'll say that in a minute. Or the P-51 Mustang. Now, the Spitfire, very famous plane. More kills than the P-51. Faster. Turns quicker. Looks better. I'm always saying it's the old Spitfire that. Oh yeah, injectors. I never even, yeah, injectors. Could be a dodgy injector as well. Think of that. Spitfire is the better plane. And he says, no, the P-51 Mustang is. Now, I know why he's saying that, because he kind of has to. You know, you have to, just like I'm being, you have to be patriotic. And I understand. I truly understand it. And I love his patrioticness. But he's wrong. He just is. We all know it. Put down in the comments what is better, the P-51 or the beautiful, magnificent Spitfire. And let's not forget the Spitfire engine. Oh, that Merlin, just perfection. They had four of them in the Lank. Oh, beautiful. And did you know within a space of like 3 years, there was 54 different marks of Mustang. And I've Spitfire went from the Mark 1 to the Mark 24 in a few years. 24. Yeah. And believe it or not, was it the Mustang? Oh, I don't want to say because I'm not sure it was the Mustang or it was the 109. Oh, which was there's a thing that I'm thinking of now, and I can't remember who had it first. If it was the Mustang or if it was the 109. I'm sure it was the Mustang, but I don't want to say because I could be wrong. Who scared Hermann Goering when he flew over? Oh, what did he say? Actually, okay, right, okay, smart ass. Okay, you really want to get into this? Okay, right, okay, we'll get into this. We'll get into this. What did in his original notes? Who was he most scared of? Who? In his original notes, in his original diary, which he said to Hitler before the World War II started, who did he say he was going to have the biggest problem with? Who was he scared of? Who was he trying to get Hitler to make a truce with before the war started? Now, get out of that one. Get out of that one. We'll watch when next. That's 5 minutes spare after changing 2 broken coils. Would have he also, I've missed some comments here. Right, hold on. I think he brought a cheap aftermarket coil pack. Been told to. Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely. You want to get definitely a genuine coil pack. Definitely. Yeah, 100%. It could just be a dodgy coil pack. As it's heating up, it could just be breaking down internally. The Packard bell must have leaked less oil. You haven't answered my question now. Answer that question. Get out of that question. You're frantically Googling it. You're frantically Googling and answering it. I can just see it. You're like... I'm going to show this last comment after he comes back to me with an answer he cannot win now. Actually, it was not only was it it was Goebbels and Goering who both said this to Hitler, and it's both in their diaries who they need to not piss off. And then I'm gonna show this comment. No problem, Teabag. Love the name, by the way. What a great YouTube handle, Teabag. I like it. I like it because it means a few different things. Depending how dirty your mind is to what it means. I love it. Yeah, but amazing to think just in and getting back to the Spitfire now. And this is just because war, you know, there's billions of pounds going around when there's war. Things get, you know, technology gets advanced so quickly. But the Spitfire went from just under 1,000 horsepower, like 900 and something horsepower at the beginning in the Mark 1 to over 2,500 horsepower in the Mark 24. Crazy to think just the leaps and the bounds that, you know, and it's not just the Spitfire, this is all of them around the world. You know, it's amazing just how quick you know, how quick things develop in war situations as regards technology. You know, Adolf Hitler wanted Spitfires, however he knew about the Mustang. He would have wanted. That's not what I asked, though. It's not what I actually said. You're dodging the question. You're sounding like a politician now, mate. You're dodging the question. It's not the question I asked. Who did they both say directly to Hitler? We need not to piss these people off. This is going to be our biggest threat. Anyway, I'm going to quickly show this comment now. It's not like particularly bad, but this is not a bad comment, but this is what I mean about not watching the video properly. Because, you know, you leave a comment when you half watch a video and then you just look like a dick. So, this comment here. So, if the ECU does not have VIN coding, the ECU will not automatically read it, basically. Now, yes, but that wasn't what I was saying. In the video, the launch didn't do an automatic read on it. The Autel did. And I then put a point to the Autel. And for the other guy to say, if you remember the other comment at the beginning of the video, when he was like, well, you're obviously a fan of Autel, not launch. How can I give a point to launch in that situation when Autel just done it better? You can clearly see on the video. This is what I'm saying. If you're going to say something, answer the question properly. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Be right back. I'm back. I had to go and let the old dog out. Oh, Java, I've just seen you deleted a message. Did you get something wrong? The spit nearly broke the speed of bit nearly broke the speed of the sound during the highest speed drive ever. Lost its spinner. Dude, nix the F-bomb. Nix the F-bomb. Bought low mileage car once, never again. Stay clear, not worth it. Dang. Leon, better luck. What? But what have you got me on? I don't understand. What have you got me on? You haven't got me. You still haven't answered my question. You completely dodged my question, and you answered me something else. Which, dude, nick the F-bomb. I don't. I'm not getting it. What have you got me on? Just because it broke its propellers and then he hitting the speed of sound, which no other plane, especially of that era, did. Nothing wrong with that. Pushing it to its limits. Anyway, so yeah, this comment, this is what I'm saying, you know, people need to watch the videos before they make comments, because when you make stupid comments like that. Anyway, I'm going now. I just want him to answer my question. He's like a politician. He's dodging the question. Give 1 second. So yeah, answer my question, mate. Come on. I'm waiting, and then I have to go. Anyway, he's not going to answer my question, so I'm going to have to go. Always nice. I have to go over to California, and we'll have to do a video together. And then I'll have to tell you just how wrong you are to your face. The only problem is he's got a lot of guns. I'm going to have to be careful what I say to him, because he's got a lot more guns than what we have. I think he's got more guns himself than we do in the whole of Ireland. But he said I can shoot them, so, you know, that's cool. Who doesn't like shooting guns? Shooting guns is cool, especially at targets. I would never shoot anything but targets, like beer cans or something. Most of I won't be able to even shoot them. Anyway, I'll give him a couple more minutes, because I know there's a lag between the for me talking and the stream. Or is he gone? Anyway, I hope everyone had a great night and all that sort of stuff, and I'll be doing a lot more of these live streams, like I said before. It's just I need to get time, and I need to sort them out better, and I'll be starting the new channels very soon. I've done a few more videos for them, and I want to release them and start getting the old electronic channels going again, or starting up electronic channels. One of the first videos you'll be seeing is this, a homemade, unbelievable, the camera is fun, a homemade, can you see, I can't put up, but a homemade oscilloscope. That's gonna be one of the first videos. You know, it's only a one channel oscilloscope, but still, for the price of it and everything, you can learn soldering, you can do all that. So we're going to be doing all that, fixing stuff. Sealant on water pumps, what's your view? I've said this in all my videos. Don't do it. It's just terrible. Most water pumps have their own gasket, whether it's a paper gasket, whether it's a metal gasket, whether it's an O-ring. And believe me, it works. I've never had an issue. When you put sealer on it, I showed a video recently. I don't know if I've released it yet, but I've done a video showing someone's put coolant on a water pump, and when you pull the when you seal on the water, when you pull it back, you can see all the rust that's around it, right? And it just causes too many problems. It's a nightmare to clean once you change the water pump. The little bits can get in the water pump system and block it. It can block the water pump. It's just bad. Now, some of the older, really old cars, that's what they use, so fair enough. But just trust in the gasket. Clean everything properly. Get everything nice and clean, and the gasket will work. Believe me. All right? Believe me. It doesn't look like he's going to answer my question because he can't. Oh, funny. It's funny. Always good to have a bit of a joke with people, especially people that can take a bit of banter. You know, it's good fun. But anyway, I'm going to go. We'll do this another time. And, you know, we'll have some more fun. And that's my view on sealants on water pumps. Just don't fucking do it. Unless you know, right, that the next guy working on it, you really don't like him, then put it on. Anyway, as always, just one more question. BW B7 timing belt replacement. Don't put sealer on it, clean it, and still leaks. Oh, okay. Well, there must be an issue then. There must be something must be. If you cleaned it properly, I can only think of 2 reasons or 3 reasons why it's leaking. You've got a cheap, shitty water pump that's warped, right? Possibility. Your gasket isn't very good, the one that you was using. Or, which I very much doubt this, there has to be an issue with the block. The block's pitted or warped or something, which I just can't see it not that far down. So I would be more maybe blaming your water pump, a dodgy water pump, for that one, more so than anything else. Are some cars manufactured going to TVR only, no gasket? I mean, there is still, it's like everything. There is still, on every car that I've seen so far, you know, new cars and older cars, there's gasket and the sealer, depending on what it's doing. You know, even the newer cars, well, I say newer cars, I mean, I think the newest car I've ever worked on is maybe a year old. Actually, no, sorry. I worked on practically a car that's only done 700 odd miles. It was crashed, so it was out of warranty. And that had gaskets and that had sealer on it. And that was a brand spanking new car. Literally had 700 miles on it. So every car has it both. Whether they're going just to one specific thing now in a few years, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. But I don't know. But I personally think gaskets are better than sealer. It just, sealer's great. Don't get me wrong, sealer's brilliant. Any fuck up, sealer is brilliant. And if the surfaces don't have to be perfect, sealer will seal it. I understand why people use it because it is brilliant. You just have to use it sparingly. I'm not saying don't ever use it, but if you're going to use it sparingly, because on the timing belt, for example, if you get it wrong, you can overheat the car and warp the head and destroy the engine. So yeah, just be careful with it. Use it. I mean, there is times I've had to use it on water pumps. I'm not, you know, I just try and not, like 98% of the times I don't. There is 2% of the times where I've just had to for one reason or another, which I just don't like. But look, it's not saying don't use it, just be careful. Everything in moderation. Oh, yes. The good old saying, everything in moderation. And don't use window silicone. I know someone that got the wrong stuff once and used, put put a sealer in a window, but there's some sealer out there, and I can't remember what it's designed. It's designed for a car, but I can't remember what part of a car. It never dries, like it never ever dries. And they tried to put a window in it, and the window just slipped out. They had it all up, put it in, it looked fine, and then put tape on it, took the tape off, and like 6-7 hours later, the window just fell out because it was just this stuff never ever dries. And it is designed for a car, but I don't know what part of a car it's designed for. Anyway, I'm off, so I gotta go. So as always, hope you enjoyed the video and all that sort of stuff, and you know, the usual like, share, comment, subscribe, all that, you know, YouTube bullshit. And we'll catch you on the next one. Boom! Sorted.